We are back yet again. What's up, everyone? I'm Nick. This is Swiftful Thinking, where we cover all things Swift and SwiftUI related. And one of the things that I noticed while developing this app the first time is that once we are in the app, and maybe you're in the app for a couple of minutes, the price data never refreshes. So in this video, we're going to add a button so that we can refresh, we can re-download all the price data from the internet, and we can get updated prices, of course. And when we download those updated prices, we want to make sure that everything in our application is also going to be in sync with these new prices. So that means our coins on the screen, the coins in our portfolio, everything needs to stay in sync. And we're going to do that using, obviously, publishers and subscribers, which we've been using throughout this whole course. One small caveat that I do want to point out here is that my personal preference would be to use the pull to refresh feature. So like, on a lot of iPhone apps, you can swipe down or pull down a list, and then that spinner will happen at the top and it will reload that list. But unfortunately, SwiftUI does not have an easy way to implement that just yet. So because of that, we're not going to hack together a version of that. Instead, we're just going to add a button that's going to reload the data.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We're going to do a couple different things in this video. The first thing, now that we set up our portfolio and that's all working, we need to update this portfolio value here. It still says $0, and that's because we hard-coded it in. But the value should actually be the value of all of the portfolio, the sum of all of the items in our portfolio. So right now it should be 6,000. And then the percentage should be the percentage change of the coins in our portfolio. So we're going to have to do a little bit of math, a little bit of logic to get that set up now. So let's head into our home view model. And we have a function to map the global market data. And we're calling this, let's find where we're calling this, in this subscriber here. So we're subscribing to the market data, and then we are updating the statistics every time that market data gets called. But in that function, we created this portfolio statistic model, and the portfolio value we just set to 0. So when we call this function, we actually want to also receive the current portfolio. So if there is coins in our portfolio, we want to be able to use them into this function. So back up where we call this map market data. In addition to subscribing to this market data, let's also let's combine latest, and let's also subscribe to our portfolio. So we are going to subscribe to the array up here with our portfolio coins. So anytime this gets updated, we'll rerun these functions. So here we'll subscribe to our money sign portfolio coins. And now this map function is going to actually receive two items. It's going to receive the data as well as the array of coins. So let's go back to this map market data. And we need to pass in the coins that we're going to get back. So let's say portfolio coins of type array of coin model. So now if I scroll back up, that error should go away. And just to put these in chronological order, this first subscriber is taking the search, it is taking all of the coins, filtering the coins, and updating the all coins. And then all coins is getting subscribed to down here. We take the all coins as well as our saved entities and core data and map those out. So let's actually cut this and paste it right here so it's chronological. And after we update the portfolio coins, we're going to subscribe to the updated portfolio coins down here, and then we're going to update the statistics. So this is honestly probably the hardest part of these publishers and subscribers is just figuring out how they are all connected. And this is like pretty complex, honestly, but I think this is a really good example of how we can connect all of these publishers and subscribers. Because once this is all connected, everything in our app is just running in sync all the time. And that by itself saves us so many bugs because we know our data is always in sync with the screen. But moving on, we are now combining with this portfolio coins. So let's jump to the map global market data. And in here, we can actually now access the portfolio coins. All right, so the first thing we need to do is get the value of the portfolio. So in here, let's create a, let's say let portfolio value, and we'll set it equal to the portfolio coins. This is an array of coins, and we're going to map the coins to a double. So we'll say .map, and we're going to click enter here, and this will be for each coin, and we want it to return a double. So from each of these coins, we want to get the value of each coin. So here we're going to return the coin current holdings value. The current holdings value we set up a long time ago. I'm going to jump to it. We set it up. The current holdings value is a custom variable. It's the current holdings amount, the quantity, times the current price. So that is the USD value of these coins. And this works, but we can make this more condensed as well. So I'm going to actually use the more condensed version just for readability. So we're going to actually say let portfolio value equals portfolio coins dot map, and we'll open the brackets. We'll do money sign 0 dot current holdings value. All right, so this is doing the exact same thing as this, just a little bit shorter. So I'm going to delete this. And let's actually put this on multiple lines just so we can get the, just so we can indent this map here. And so this right now, if I hold the option button and click on the portfolio value, it's going to give us an array of type double. And what we really want is a single value. So we want the sum of all of the current holding values. So we can add .reduce. And this is how we can sum things in Swift. And the initial result is just like the starting value, which will be 0. And then we want to basically add all of the items together. So we'll just use a plus sign. So we're going to map them, and then we're going to reduce them. And now if we hold the option button, click on portfolio value, it is a single double now. All right, so for the value, let's make this portfolio value. And it's going to be a string, so we'll do .asCurrency with 2 decimals. I'm going to make this on multiple lines so you guys can see it a little better. AsCurrency with 2 decimals. Let's build it. Let's check it out quick. Make sure that is working. To jump over, and current portfolio value is 66,300. It's the exact as the holdings we have. Let's add one more holding. Let's do maybe dot. Why not? Let's do 500 of these. And what do you know? We have about 18 plus 6, 24,000. This looks like it's working perfectly. Now we just need to update this percentage, and that's going to be a little bit trickier. It's a little bit more math involved, but I'm going to walk you guys through it. I did the math already. In order to get the price change over 24 hours, we actually need the value of our portfolio 24 hours ago. So it's a little tricky, but let's say let previous value equals, and we're again going to look at the portfolio coins. But this time we need to add a little bit more magic into our map. So let's create a map and let's press enter. This will be for each coin, and it's going to return us a double as well. But of course this map is not going to be as simple as this one. So we can't just get the current holdings value. We need the value of each coin 24 hours ago. So here let's say let current value equals the coin dot current holdings value. That we know. Let's say let percent change equals the coin dot percent price change percentage 24 hour. So this is how much the coin has changed over the last 24 hours. And I went ahead and looked at this number, and it's actually coming through as a whole number. So if it was 25%, it's actually coming through as 25, and we want to make it a percentage, so we actually want to make it 0.25. So we're going to divide this by 100 to get the actual percentage change, and then we're going to say let previous value, and it's going to equal the current value, which I spelled it wrong, current, divided by 1 plus the percentage change. and I'm pretty positive this is the right logic. It might be wrong. Someone could probably correct me. I actually have a background in finance, so I probably should know this and probably should have spent more time on it, but I'm pretty sure this is working, so we're just going to roll with it. Again, this is a Swift course, not a math course, so hopefully it works. And then finally, we're just going to return the previous value. This is going to give us the previous value, which is the value of each coin 24 hours ago. And we're doing it by taking the current value and dividing it by 1 plus how much it has changed over the course of the last 24 hours. So with that logic, if let's just test it out here. If the current value is equal to $110, and let's say maybe it increased 10% over the last 24 hours, so we would take 110 divided by 1 plus the percentage change, which would be 10%. And if I do that on my calculator quick, 110 divided by 1.1, this would be a decimal actually. And I think that actually equals 100. So I think the logic is correct here. You guys can correct me in the comments if it's wrong. And then we just want to obviously reduce these again so we get one single previous value by summing them up. So let's add our reduce onto this as well. This is going to give us the previous value of our portfolio. And finally, we want to get the percentage that it has changed between the new and the old. And in high school, your math teacher probably told you to get the percentage change, it is new minus old divided by old. That's what we're going to do right here. So the math classes are actually coming in handy here. We'll say let percentage change equals, let's do new portfolio value minus old, the old value, the previous value, divided by the old previous value. And this is going to give us the percentage, and we actually want to put the full number into our app. So let's put this in parentheses, and then let's just multiply that result times 100 to get it out of the decimal form back into like a full number. So 0.1 becomes 10%. Finally, let's take that percentage change, put it into our percentage change. Let's run the app on the simulator one more time, and we should be able to tell if this is actually working. Because we can look at our portfolio, and the percentage change should be about the weighted average value of our portfolio. So first of all, it looks like it's a very red day today. We have a bunch of negative numbers. But our portfolio, we can see that BNB is down about 6.6% and DOT is down about 14%. So it makes a lot of sense that our portfolio is down about 12%. And that's the weighted average. It should be the weighted average. So it's closer to 14% because we have more money in the DOT than we have in BNB. So I think that is working perfectly. Let's update our portfolio quick and just see if that updates as well. It should, because we are subscribing to it. Back up at the top of our code. Back up here, we are subscribing. So anytime that portfolio coins changes, this should rerun. So let's click the plus. Let's add another coin. Let's add Bitcoin. And let's do maybe like 0.5 coins. Click save, and boom, our portfolio value is updated and our percentage has updated, as well as our screen here, and this is looking great. Before we move on, I did notice that this map call here, these map calls we put into quick little functions like the filtered coins and the map market data, but we didn't do it for this one, so let's actually do that quick. And so we're going to create a function that accepts coin models and portfolio entities, and it returns coin models. So let's scroll down, let's put it between these two functions here. We'll say private func, and what are we doing here? We are creating our portfolio coins. So let's call this map all coins to portfolio coins. And it accepts all coins of type array of coin model, and it also accepts portfolio coins of type, that's going to be an array of portfolio entity, Let's make this full screen. Let's make this full screen. And this is going to return us an array of coin model. Open the brackets. I'm going to scroll up. Let's take the logic in here, this coin model's mapping. Scroll back down, paste it in here. Let's see, we changed up the names. Sorry, this all coins should actually be coin models. Let's actually change this. Let's do all coins and make that this variable here. And then these portfolio entities, I like that word better, so let's make this portfolio entities. And this should build. Let's put this function up in our code so it's nice and neat. So here I'm going to call .map. Map all coins to portfolio coins, and we can get rid of the parameters because it is exactly the same as what we're getting from this subscriber. We can then delete our map code here, and this looks much more readable. I think you guys would agree. And all of the magic in our app is now happening in this quick little add subscribers function. You could probably make an entire like college course just out of this function here. There's so much going on. This is really an awesome function. I hope you guys are realizing like the power of all of these publishers and subscribers now. And this is why I've been talking about like Combine for so many videos now. All right, and I'm going to build the app one more time. And now we have our coins coming through and it's working. But once we're in the app, we don't have a way to actually reload this data. So I want a way to actually just reload the prices and update these prices. And ideally we would have a feature here where we can pull the list down and the progress view would pop up and it would reload the data. That's kind of like the natural user behavior on iOS devices these days. But unfortunately there's not yet a pull down to reload in SwiftUI. For now, instead of hacking them together, we're just going to create a little reload icon over here. And we're just going to click it and it's just going to spin and reload the list. And I think from like a UI perspective, that works just as well. So let's find these column titles in our code. Let's jump into the home view. We have our column titles. Let's jump to them. Let's open up the canvas so we can see what we are doing. All right, and to the right of the price, let's add a button quick. Open the parentheses. Let's use the action and label. The label, we're going to make an image, system name, and we're going to use the go forward symbol, which is like a little tiny little circle. And when we click this button, we're going to do something with animation, and let's make it linear with a duration of 2 seconds. And then we'll open the brackets. And in here, I want to call a function to reload the data. So calling any of those functions should happen in our view model. So let's quickly jump into the view model. And in here, we are going to create one more function. Let's do it below the update portfolio. We'll do func reload data, open close parentheses, open the brackets. All right, and in here, we need to then reload the data. So there's basically 3 data services that we have in this file. We have our coin data, our market data, and our portfolio data. And we don't need to reload the portfolio data because that wouldn't have changed. We just want to change the prices that we're getting from the API. So inside coin data service, we really just want to call get coins again so that we update the coins. So because we're going to call this again, we need to make it public and not private so that we can access it from another file. Let's get rid of the private there. I'm going to go back, and then in the market data service, let's jump to definition. Let's make this one public as well. Now let's go back. In our reload data, let's call coin data service dot, and it's not building. Let's press Command Shift K to clean and rebuild. Let's call coin data service dot get coins. Let's also call a market data service dot get data. And while this is happening, I want to signal to the view that we are loading. So I'm going to create a variable at the top. Let's make it, let's put it under here. We'll do @published var. We'll say is loading of type bool. We'll set it equal to false. And back down when we call reload data, we're going to say is loading equals true. So when these come back, we want to then set is loading back to false. And really simply, these are going to come back in our subscribers, right? So when all coins changed, this is going to filter the coins, set up all coins. All coins is subscribed here. It's going to map, set up our portfolio coins. Our portfolio coins is subscribed down here. And this is going to map and then update our statistics. So after we're done updating our statistics, let's call self.isLoading and set it equal to false. All right, so now we just need to call reload data from our view. Let's go back to the home view. Let's resume the canvas. When we click it, let's call vm.reload data. All right, and when we do click it, I want to rotate the actual image. So on the button, let's call .rotation effect. Let's give it an angle. So on the button, let's call .rotation effect with an anchor. And let's give it an angle. And let's give it an angle with degrees, and we'll say vm.isLoading. If it's loading, let's rotate it 360 degrees, otherwise 0 degrees. And let's keep the anchor as the center. Let's resume the canvas quick, and I'm going to press play on the live preview. We load our data. If I click it, it should spin. And then after 2 seconds, the price is updated and then it stops spinning. So just like that, we added reloading into our app, which is awesome. There's one more thing I want to do in this video. And because in most iPhone apps, when you have that like when you have the pull to refresh, most users probably don't notice, but the phone actually vibrates when you pull to refresh. It does like a little haptic, a little vibration, so that you can physically feel that the action was called. So when we click this, I actually want to add a quick little vibrate to the device. And to do that, we're going to create a haptic manager. So in our utilities folder at the top here, let's right click, create a new file. It's going to be a Swift file, and let's call it haptic manager. Let's create a class called haptic manager, open the brackets. We're going to create let's first create a static let generator equals UI notification. And we actually don't have access to it because we need to import SwiftUI. And I think it is the UI notification feedback generator. All right, let's make this private actually. We'll call static func. We'll call this notification. Open close parentheses, open the brackets. And in here, we're going to call generator dot notification occurred. And here we need a notification type. So I'm just going to copy that type and put this in as a parameter. We'll say type UI notification feedback generator dot feedback type. And then we'll just pass in that type. All right, so now once we reload, all we need to do is call the haptic manager dot notification. So back in our code, we're going to call vm.reload data. Let's jump to the definition that is in our view model. And let's Command Shift K to clean and rebuild. And in here, let's just call haptic manager dot notification, and let's pass it in as success. All right. So now when we call reload data, this should create a haptic notification, and that should vibrate the device. So let's build it and run it to the simulator quick, and let's just make sure that the reload is working. Obviously, we're not going to be able to feel the vibration. We have our data, and then I'm going to click this, and hopefully some of the data updates here. So I'm going to wait a minute and then click the reload button, and then hopefully some of these numbers update. So I'm going to click reload now. I waited about a minute, and I'm going to click reload now. And hopefully it does update. I saw one of these numbers update. Very subtle. Unfortunately, the free CoinGecko API that we're using does not update every second like some of your popular cryptocurrency apps. This is a free API. Some of the numbers are delayed. They update like every 5 minutes. But if we do click this, it should be running the function at least. And if you wait probably like 5 minutes and then click this, you should see some more changes. Unfortunately, that is one of the limits of this API, but for our purposes, this is still obviously great. 5-minute delay is not a big deal. Alright guys, if you're running this on your actual device and not on a simulator, when you click this, you should also feel a haptic, and that should be a nice little user experience. So that's it for this video. Our app is really coming together now, but we still have some final touches to do. So thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm Nick, this is Swiftful Thinking, and I'll see you in the next video.